Hi guys, I'm Anna, and since you clicked on this video, I guess you're at least thinking about moving to Spain. So let me share 10 lessons my friends and I learned after making the move. The good, the bad, the hard and unexpected. Let's go. Spain is a big country and it can feel like 10 countries in one. Each region has its own climate, nature, culture, and sometimes its own language. Yes, most people speak Spanish, but not everywhere. For example, in parts of Catalonia, especially in smaller towns, you might hear only Catalan. Spain can be super sunny and beachy with loud cheerful people, and rainy and green with quiet, reserved locals in the north. It really depends. So what version of Spain do you want to live in? Before moving, take time to research the region, the culture, language and traditions. Don't end up in the Basque country wondering why they don't dance flamenco. They never have. So look beyond just Barcelona and Madrid and Valencia. Northern Spain is stunning too. Ask yourself, does this place resonate with me? Lesson 2. Choose your residency and plan for renewal. This is something you should think about as early as possible because figuring it out after arriving can be extremely stressful. 1 year flies by fast. I know so many people who had to leave Spain simply because they couldn't find a legal way to stay. Residency options depend on your passport, so you'll need to research what's available for citizens of your country. For example, if you are from the United States of America, you probably need a tourist visa or student visa to start. Many of my friends ended up renewing their stay through student visa because it's often the easiest way to stay legally, but keep in mind that it's expensive, especially if you're paying for a year-long language school. So plan in advice. Don't leave it to chance. Lesson 3. Learn Spanish or plan to study it. Language is everything. Language is such a basic but powerful tool for feeling comfortable here, not just in daily runs, not just about ordering coffee or ask for directions. It's about actually integrating into society. So the more Spanish you know, the more freedom, confidence and opportunity you will have. In some regions, knowing the local language matters too, so don't be surprised if you don't understand people even when they are speaking what you thought was Spanish. In Barcelona, for example, Catalan is used in schools, signs, official documents and often in casual conversations. So Catalan or Basque are entirely different languages, different from Spanish, and even native speakers, Spanish speakers struggle to understand them. So don't fall into the trap of thinking that you'll be fine without Spanish. Also, people here are just the best to learn Spanish. They're very supportive. You can say like, hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? And they're like, whoa, you speak perfect Spanish. And this is very motivating. So they're lovely. So lesson 4, bring a skill. When I came to Barcelona, I had a student visa, which allowed me to work part-time. Back then, it was 4 hours a day. And even now that the limit is higher, it's still tough. I thought I'd find an office work, I had a strong resume and international experience, but no one cared. I'd like to hear your experience with this in the comments. I'm sure many of you have faced the same. I had to support myself, so I went back to teaching stretching, something I did before moving. I had 2 studios, corporate clients, and I even taught at a fitness college. So that skill paid my rent, bought my food, and got me through. You probably have skills you can monetize too, whether it's nails, massage, fitness, online work, design, consulting, anything that can generate income. Bring those skills with you, it will make a huge difference. Lesson 5. Bureaucracy is real. I'm pretty calm and patient person, but some of my friends were shocked by how intense the bureaucracy is in Spain. That's mostly because we are not used to needing visa and permits back at home. Suddenly you're drowning in papers, endless appointments, waiting months for decisions, but honestly it's like that in many countries. You just need to come prepared. Bring every document you might ever need, diplomas, certificates, apostilles, even if it's from 10 years ago. One tip: leave notarized power of attorney with someone you deeply trust back home. I left two, one with my mom and one with my friend, and that's how I was able to sell my apartment in Russia while living in Spain. And get ready to hear two important words: mañana y tranquilo. Lesson 6. Be ready to be tired. Nobody warned me about this, but during my first 6 months in Spain, I was exhausted mentally and physically, and because everything around you is new. Your apartment, new street, new names, new language, new air, new social rules, new noises, new habits. Your brain is processing 24/7. You're not just learning how to live, you're learning everything from scratch in another language, and that's a lot. Maybe you remember your first days on your job, well, more or less like this, but during 1 year. So yes, you'll probably feel tired, and I'm not saying it to scare you. I just want you to know it's normal and you're not doing anything wrong. It just takes time, and eventually you'll adapt. So those were my lessons, and now let's hear what my friends say from different countries and different backgrounds, what they have learned since moving to Spain.
I think the main lesson that I learned from moving to Spain is that the money really matters, because this thing will lead to a lot of stress in your first years in a new place. So as an advice for someone who is like planning to visit or planning to live in another country is to, and especially Spain I guess, is to have as much money as they have like before moving into Spain, because then it will be like a countdown on your well-being in the country in the case of you losing your work or something like that. So with every penny spent, you will be feeling this pressure of anxiety or something like that. So it will be really hard, and the worst thing that won't be able to escape it. So because this is basically your life is at stake. So if you will have more money, it will be less stressful. So this is
there any minimum amount?
Well, minimum amount, I would suggest 10K. This is like a minimum. Like the 20, you will be more like mentally healthy. Even more, it will be even better. So it's depending on your lifestyle for sure. So it's like you need to plan your lifestyle and the family. So you basically need to plan for you or your family to live okay for 1 year, I guess. So if you can survive for 1 year and you have that money, it will be mostly fine. If you will have more, better.
I can say 3 things that I was really struggling with. It's first of all bureaucracy. Secondly, finding a place to stay, especially in Barcelona, it's completely disaster. Thirdly, it's finding your communities, new friends, and like feeling that you're not alone in the city. So with bureaucracy, my advice is to plan everything in advance. Try to collect every paper, everything, like ask advices from people who already did it, and like find as much information as possible. With bureaucracy, it's never ending story, so you have to deal with it all the time. About finding a place to stay, it's very hard question. I think it's the same thing, that you have to find as much information, try any option to, ask for any place or a room, or I don't know. Say it out loud, first of all, and then eventually you'll find something, because it's like how it works. If you want to find something, you will find it in the end. With people, we all social, right? So we have to find someone who you can feel like home, because I think people is most important thing. And when you find the right ones, when you feel like you have something in common, and of course, for those who speak only one language, it's harder than for others with 1 or 2 different languages. So first of all, I advise you to learn a language, like local language, and go to school where you can find people who you feel really comfortable to talk to. You have the same things to do, or like things to learn, and I think it actually makes people closer. And anyway, For example, in Barcelona, you can find so many things. You can do sports, you can do, I don't know, anything creative. So I don't think it's a really big problem to find people. It's just the only thing, you have to do something. You have to go and do sports. You have to find, I don't know, communities who like do hikings, or I don't know, it's just so many things. So my advice is just not to sit at home. Try to get out and make an effort. So I think it's the best thing.
So probably my advice is gonna be super obvious, but I would say care less. Yes, in the Rome, do as the Romans do. So Spanish people, Spanish organizations, Spanish bureaucrats can be optional, I would say, careless. And if they say it will be done tomorrow, you never should trust it. But not a problem, because you also can play that game. Nobody wants from you nothing. Я думаю о том, что вот все не очень четко, все маньяна, ни на что нельзя, не стоит рассчитывать. Но с другой стороны, часто в этом есть какая-то душевность, и люди, те же чиновники, от которых ты зависишь, и если ты что-то напутал, они готовы пойти от чистого сердца к тебе навстречу и помочь тебе. Ты можешь, наоборот, столкнуться либо со стеной, пытаясь все делать по правилам, либо, накосячив, ты можешь выйти из ситуации чисто из-за помощи сердечной.
I think the main lesson is that I always can rely on myself, because when you separate from your country, from your family, it seems to be like you being very alone, and sometimes when you are in trouble you can't get help from anything, and everything seems to be more difficult if something goes not as planned. But in fact, I just understood that now if I change the country, if I change the society around me, nothing that can take me from me, because all my competences I got from the life, everything I can do, everything I know, I always take with me, so I can rely on myself. If I manage to be here, I manage to deal with any troubles. I lost my job. I was like, oh my God, I will die in hunger on the street. But in fact, I have everything with me. My competences, my education, my experience. I just built my career here, so everything going on every day. Remember that you always have yourself with you, on your side. You can rely on yourself. And second thing, it's my advice to think about the worst thing that can happen. So like it appeared to be I'm unemployed. What the worst thing can happen?
And what would I do?
And what would I do? I just made a plan on the paper. The worst thing can happen. I made a plan for 3 months without job, but it appeared to be unnecessary because I found new job in 1 month, but I had planned for 3 months in advance. I understood that my anxiety is kind of unreasonable, so it's more emotional thing that real one.
Okay, thank you. I have another 2 lessons, but the things that I already spoke about is in this video. However, as people speak about this, I consider it an important topic, so I decided to add them too.
Barcelona is in Spain, and technically, if you're able to speak Spanish, that's amazing. If you're already a Spanish speaker, that's even better. But one thing very important to remember, that Barcelona is Catalonia. So if you're able to speak Catalan, not perfectly, but just well, then your life will be much, much, much easier.
For me, the most important thing is the language. You just won't be able to integrate yourself in the culture, in the society, in the mentality of the people you will live with. And if you want to be confident, to feel safe, to feel comfortable in the city, in the country, it's just important, it's just need it, yeah, in principle, to speak Spanish. For example, we were in Spain right now, and also Catalan. If you want to get more things, like important things, you want to get to the government, for example, it's important to speak Catalan. But for like day-to-day life, Spanish is great also, but you have to learn it and you have to speak it. I recommend you to get until, like, to go until level B2, maybe C1, but B2 is also great. Well, just learn Spanish.
So guys, this is it. Thank you very much for watching this video till the end. Please feel free to share your experience in the comment section below, maybe your thoughts, maybe you have some questions, and see you in the next video. Пока-пока. What? Oh my god, there is.
Cut.
Погнали. Тебе задать вопрос, чтобы тебе полегче?
Ну, конечно.
Dear Inna.
So guys, this is it. Hope this video was useful.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.